is Lori Lightfoot. While I'm running my city into the ground, I need maximum comfort. And that's why I wear slacks by Hagar.
Roomy roll-up slacks by Hagar. When you're comfortable in your complacency.
You are watching the Tuesday night edition of Chicago Corner. Woo!
Hello, hi, welcome to Taco Tuesday. Who wants a taco? Yeah, I know. Taco, go crazy. All right, everyone, act normal. Perfect. Now, everybody say Taco Tuesday.
Oh my God! It's Taco Tuesday.
Did you order thousands of new jobs and a pepperoni?
Here's the problem I have. The first problem I have, Jerry. Pepperoni? Are you freaking kidding me? Chicago, Jerry, is an Italian sausage town.
You better believe it.
That's what she said.
Damn it, and there are ants in my whiskey.
They add flavor, Kira. Is that like the worm in tequila?
Have you seen my whiskey ants anywhere?
That's okay. That's okay. The show will go on, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Chicago Corner. My name is Ed Heller. I am a deep dish pizza enthusiast. And I'm a little sad today because another fellow pizza enthusiast passed away over the weekend. Everyone's best friend, radio host of WXRT, Lynn Bramer. And I just thought it would be nice to just do a little bit of a tribute to him at the front of the show. And so I wanted to share this tweet that I shared the day I learned he died. And it says, "Rest in peace, Chicago's best friend in the world. It was great for you to be alive. We will miss you. I assume you're now doing middays after Wolfman Jack." In 2021, I tweeted about Save the Bees on a Pizza Friday, which is one of those things that Lynn Bramer often enjoyed. He very often on his radio show on Friday would tell us about the pizzas that he was having when he was having pizza on Friday. He'd post pictures on Twitter, tell us when he wasn't having pizza on Pizza Friday and how upset he was about that. And then one day this happened in 2021.
That's new music from them here on 93 XRT. I started off with Honeybee on 93 XRT. And right away, one of our listeners on Twitter said, "Bees are super important. Without them, there'd be no pizza trees for Pizza Friday." That is so true. You know.
So that's my little brush of fame with our very lost friend, lost but not gone friend, Lynn Bramer, because he's going to live in the hearts and minds of everyone in Chicago. He was friendly to everyone. He was a big champion of the restaurant, bar, and music industries in the city. I don't know. He burned the candle at both ends somehow for the time that he was alive. And he was a huge Cub fan, which is why I'm wearing my Cubs regalia today in honor of him. So with that said, I think we'll hand it over to WGN to throw just a little more background for those of you who weren't familiar with Lynn Bramer.
Chicagoans across the city and beyond continue to mourn the loss of beloved radio icon Lynn Bramer.
He passed away Sunday morning after a battle with prostate cancer. Born in New York, he adopted Chicago as his own and became a devoted Cubs fan. Bramer was passionate about music and spent over 3 decades on the air at WXRT. Listeners loved tuning in to his Lynn's Bin, which is a segment of his on-air essays. He often ended it by saying, "Take nothing for granted. It's great to be alive." Today, his colleagues and family at WXRT paid tribute to the man who loved his listeners back and often told them he was their best friend in the world.
Listeners who met Lynn at a concert or something, or at an XRT event, or a benefit, he did a lot of those, or if they never met him and they just heard him on the radio, and they're thinking, was he really my best friend, or was that just shuck and jive? Well, he really was your best friend. I mean, he was the real deal.
Lynn Bramer was 68 years old.
And let me bring in my co-host, Jerry Vasilatos. Jerry, I don't think you had much experience with Lynn Bramer. I mean, if you weren't listening to him at the radio times he was broadcasting, not everybody got exposed, but I'd say a good portion of the city is saddened by his loss.
Yeah, well, while I was away, I was paying attention to social media, and I understood he had a great impact on Chicago and Chicago radio. You know, every time we lose a Chicago legend, I guess it just reminds us of the years that are passing by real fast, and the things that I don't necessarily think we take for granted, but don't realize are not always going to be there for us, especially when it comes to local personalities that we've grown up with and that literally are like our best friends. I mean, I think when you listen to radio personalities, especially local radio in Chicago, you really get a sense that you know the person because you're listening to them every day. They're talking to you. And if you have a chance encounter with them, more often than less, they end up, you know, I think living up to your expectations. And I thought that was really cool that he actually saw your tweet and thought enough of it to share with his audience. So that was really a very touching tribute, Ed.
Yeah, thanks, Sherry. I wanted to follow up with something that I think he would get a kick out of because we're going to play one of the little parodies that Lynn Bramer did.
By the way,
WXRT. Yes,
I you couldn't. Well, Ed could see me, but I was laughing my ass off at that open. Ed shared with me the picture of Lori in the ill-fitting pants while I was away, and I said, "Oh, this is demanding a parody." And Ed picked it up, and it was hilarious. My God.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that just in just a minute, Jerry.
Congrats.
Okay, but here, thank you. Here's Lynn Bramer, basically. Doing an homage to the Lee Elia rant from Cub fans and fans of Chicago history may remember this.
The Schubert Theater is proud to announce the dramatic debut of WXRT disc jockey Lynn Bramer in a one-man show entitled Lee Elia, Cub Manager.
Because if they're the real Chicago fans, they can kiss my right downtown and print it.
When Lee Elia managed the Chicago Cubs in 1983, he didn't take losing sitting down.
The don't even work. That's why they're at the game. 85% of the world's out there working. The other 15's out here. It's a playground for the suckers.
Behind the steely facade was a gentleman.
Rip those like the players.
Greg Cott of the Chicago Tribune writes, "This is the role and the only role Lynn Bramer was born to play." The Daily Southtown says, profane and beautiful. Bring the kids.
They say that's the Cubs. My
It's a one-man show. Lynn Bramer is Lee Elia, Cub manager. A limited engagement at the Schubert Theater. Check today's Tribune for details.
Anyway, and then finally, I'm just gonna bring up the head over to WXRT and read Terry Hemmert's little note about her friend Lynn Bramer, and if you missed the tribute that WXRT did on Monday on the radio station, they have links to those on the website, so you can get a chance to listen to all either the famous people and the not so famous people and all the DJs and everyone that he worked with and encountered during his life. So we will miss you, Lynn Bramer, but you're not really gone
or forgotten.
So, and with that, welcome to Tuesday Night Chicago Corner. I'm Ed Heller. This is Jerry Vasilatos, and we got stuff to talk about. But I think before that, let's see. Oh yes, let's share this little thing here. This is what started it all off. If you didn't catch the ad earlier, should I play it one more time, Jerry?
Please, I need another laugh.
All right, hang on a second. I got it handy.
Hello, my name is Lori Lightfoot. While I'm running my city into the ground, I need maximum comfort. And that's why I wear slacks by Hagar.
Roomy roll-up slacks by Hagar. When you're comfortable in your complacency.
Ed, when I left town on Saturday after the Friday night show, I was at O'Hare Airport, and there was her voice on the PA system greeting people to Chicago. I'm like, I can't escape her. I was on with Ed last night. Here she is following me to the airport, bragging about how O'Hare's the best airport in the world.
I wish you had recorded that. I'd love to do a parody.
Well, if I get
Hello, this is Lori Lightfoot. Welcome to Chicago's largest, or the world's largest and busiest airport, O'Hare Airport Terminal thing. Wait, what do you mean that's not what it's called?
I don't think you need to hear the original to run with it. And by the way, we had Pizza Monday out in Park City, and I thought of you because the big Chicago party I was at, the host of it actually flew in 32 Gino's East pizzas from Chicago. So awesome. We had Chicago pizza out in Park City last night, and I was thinking Ed would love being here right now.
Yeah, I would have loved being there, but got to pay the bills. So here we are. This tweet popped up on my radar from Chicago Chai teacher memes on Twitter. It says, if your mayor's pants look like this, then your city needs a new mayor. Then I shared it with our friends at 99 Perspectives in Chicago Corner and Hardlands Media. Our wonderful friend, host of Chicago Wine Report, Lainey Peterson, egged me on. She says, we need a promo. I'm like, okay.
But Ed, she wasn't talking about a promo for that. She was talking about a promo from us for Chicago Corner to put on the wine report. And it's
is that what she was talking about?
Yes. And
so just weird timing then.
Yeah, she's been asking me for it for a couple of weeks now. I just haven't had time. And I even put a reply there. Sorry, late, I haven't gotten to it, but I'll get on it. But how fortuitous that it that way.
We could take a moment during the show, maybe either today or Friday, and just do a live read for Lainey, and then we can turn that into audio for the radio.
That's what I was planning on talking with you about.
Because that'll be fun, and that's always good content to play around with what we're going to say for the radio part, because we're not doing radio right now.
Not yet.
No. So, we are sort of technically still at the top of the show, Jerry. Do we have an update of our Patreon supporters handy?
Well, so far we have, of course, the wonderful mama of the show, Kathy Powers. We have Dominic Palella. We have Dr. Howard Ehrman of the People's Response Network. And we have Shane Coughlin of Kerberos Media out in New York. So we now have 4 Patreons. That's about $20 a month for us, which is great. Every little bit counts. And we're very grateful for their support as well as everyone else's support in the live chats. And if anybody wants to head over and tip us $5 a month for what we're doing here, it would be very, very helpful.
Thank you very much, Patreon supporters.
Oh.
Okay. So I misinterpreted what Lainey had posted because all she said was promo.
Yeah, she was yelling at me. She's like, "Where's the promo?"
Okay.
That's great.
But fortunately for us, my brain said, "Oh yeah, actually I could do." So I did a quick audio version, which I posted in our group chat, and then Jerry's like, "Oh, I got to add some pictures to this," and then over the weekend I just threw something together because I figured he was busy at Sundance, schmoozing with the important movie people.
Oh,
and I'm like, and I'll bet you had a great time there, right?
Oh, Ed, I think this is good. I don't want to jinx it, but I think that maybe after so many years, this will be my year, and my producing partners and all the wonderful people who've been supporting that project. And I got to tell you, I for the first time in a long time, after so many false starts and so many people who love to blow smoke up your ass, I met some really real people out there that treated me with the dignity and respect of being an industry professional, and I made a lot of new friends. It wasn't even about being out there, to network to raise financing for the film. I made some really, really great new friends from across the country that I'm hoping I'm going to remain in touch with. And it was the first time I've been to Sundance, and I've always said I'm never going there unless I have a film showing. Good luck. Or something to talk about. And this year I did. And I want to give a big shout out and very, very grateful thanks to my co-producing partner, Samantha George, who basically aligned us with Real Path Media, that is owned by executive producer Mike Anderson, who is the executive producer on our film project, and said, "Jerry, I'm going to be going out to Sundance. You want to come with?" And our local entertainment attorney, Corky Kessler, who hosted this party at Sundance, the big Chicago party. And I think I may have put some videos on my social media. It was a great event, but we were also there for a lot of panels and, again, networking, meeting people, movers and shakers. So I'm like, wow, finally I'm in the right spot to move forward with this. So thanks to everybody who have been supportive of the project, especially my colleagues, and we'll see what the year brings on.
And speaking of movies, later on in the show, we have some people coming on from the Big Picture Chicago.
That's right.
I believe Ryan, and he's bringing guest filmmaker Joe Fernandez to talk about the January showcase that they're featuring. It's this Thursday, right?
It's Thursday, yeah. Ryan Jackson of Big Picture Chicago. And Kathy, let's see if I can balance both. I don't drop anybody. Ed, what did I tell you while I was away? I feel like I was back in my ecosystem as much as I love this too. I'll juggle both, Kathy. We'll do what we can.
Yeah, we make it work. See, the great thing about this show is you can connect from anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, so even if Jerry has to up and go out on a shoot somewhere, maybe he'll still find time for us, Kathy.
Maybe Louisiana, maybe Kentucky, maybe Georgia. They've got great tax credits down there for indie filmmakers.
Yeah, well, if you're shooting anywhere in the vicinity of New Orleans, I need to go down there with you for a little while.
Well, Ed,
food, oh my God, the food.
We're going to be putting a big crew together, so we basically would have to figure out what would Ed love doing that doesn't feel like a job that he could get paid for. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff in the creative department, whether it's I don't know, like you could literally there's a department in filmmaking for people to put together labels for fake brands to across the set with stuff on the walls, or stuff on the shelves and things. I mean, there's all kinds of opportunities for people with graphic design background. Or we'll talk about what you might like to do.
Cool. So let's get back to the stories here. We had a breaking story also put on our radar by our friend Lainey Peterson, and this is a doozy here. So,
body in a Chicago alley after the funeral van it was in was stolen from a Rockford mortuary. But police are still looking for the person who stole the van. CBS 2's Asal Razai joins us from CBD headquarters with more on the investigation.
After an anonymous call to 911, Chicago police finally tracking down the body of that man in an alley here in the city. Take a look at the video we have as police were near 83rd Street and Manistee around 4:30 yesterday on the south side. Police and first responders at that call where they discovered the corpse of a man that went missing from Collins and Stone Funeral Home in Rockford on Saturday. It is not clear if the thief knew if there was a body inside, but they drove it over 90 miles to Chicago. Investigators shocked to find the body was not covered or inside of a body bag. That abandoned.
Okay, I'm just stopping this for a minute in case you guys missed what happened here. A funeral van stolen from Rockford, driven to Chicago. The person who stole the van drove all the way from Rockford to Chicago, dumped the body somewhere in Chicago. Well, they found the body. I guess they found the van. I don't know.
That video of the suspect. That's quite
the suspect is still at large.
Quite a ghoulish looking character, if I might say.
Yeah.
Abandoned van was found just 10 minutes away near 87th.
Okay, yeah. So he abandoned the van.
In Dorchester with no one inside. Investigators in Rockford and Chicago now looking for this man. They believe he stole that van. He could now be facing vehicle theft charges along with the abuse of a corpse and moving it without authorization. Police are still searching for that suspect. At least right now, the family of the deceased has a bit of closure this morning. Reporting from Chicago Police Headquarters, Asal Razai, CBS 2 News.
I wish there were stronger charges. I mean, those charges. I'm sure he's going to have to account for that and however they prosecute him. But that seems like a slap on the wrist, given the trauma he put that family through and the indignity and disrespect to the deceased. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Anyway,
and what could the motive be? I mean, the thing too is like I don't know if we're ever going to find this out. What's the motive? Why would you do that? Why would anybody think to do that?
If he's just thinking he wanted to steal a vehicle, didn't realize that it's a funeral home, maybe there's a body inside.
Well, funeral vehicles are pretty easily identified, though. I mean, when you're running off with a hearse or something that's
if it's a van, maybe not. But
did they identify the type of vehicle it was?
They said it was a funeral van. So I don't know if there's specifically a design of van that's out of the ordinary on the outside appearance of such a van.
And it could be unmarked. It might not have the funeral home's name on it. So yeah, maybe it was just a simple white panel van or something that's wow.
Yeah, Kathy Power suggests it was his homie. Okay. But then why did he dump him in an alley? Unless he's like, dude, if I die, I want you to drive me from Rockford to Chicago and dump me in an alley.
Famous last wishes.
I need you to pinky swear.
Wow.
It's like, okay, man, I'll do it.
Call the professionals. Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Okay, let's get off this gloomy story and talk about another gloomy story. The Chicago Clown Car, also known as the mayoral race. So here we are, and I guess we can start out. Well, there's going to be a lot of Lori talk tonight. We can't avoid it, Jerry.
Of course not.
Just can't.
There it is, pulling up.
Yeah. So
more drama with our. Although You know, we used to joke that this was all about the mayoral clown car. I don't think that the candidates that we've been left with are clowns so much anymore. I think we've got a good crop, but you know, it's always fun to refer to as the mayoral clown car because we have so many candidates.
Yeah, so here we are. The update. Ethics Board wants Lightfoot campaign investigated for recruiting student volunteers from CPS. And let me roll a video here from ABC 7 Chicago.
Inspector General will now start gathering
loud
information
enough?
during its investigation, and then it will forward that to the Ethics Board. What's not clear is whether or not there will be a resolution before Election Day. The Chicago Board of Ethics has asked City Inspector General Deborah Witzberg to investigate Mayor Lori Lightfoot's re-election campaign regarding a possible ethics violation. This morning, Witzberg welcomed the report without directly.
Remember that Witzberg was appointed by Lightfoot, but Witzberg, when she was appointed, said she wasn't going to let anybody influence her, and she seems to be above board. We'll see what happens when she follows through with this situation here.
Before you run the video, Ed, we have a $1 super chat from Mama Chicago Corner, Kathy Powers. So here you go, Kathy. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
Commenting on the case.
What I can say is that we take the issue of the misuse of city resource for political purposes really seriously. That represents an abuse of a public position for political gain. That's something with which Chicago has a long and dark history, and there's no room for that anymore.
Earlier this month, it came to light that the Lightfoot campaign emailed Chicago public school teachers to encourage students to volunteer for her campaign in exchange for extra credit. The city's ethics ordinance prohibits elected officials from using city resources and information for political purposes. The mayor blaming a campaign staff member for making a mistake. Yesterday, she commented on any possible probe.
We'll cooperate with any investigation that's out there. We've said that, we will do that. And I'm confident that what any investigator will find was this was a mistake.
The election is just 5 weeks away, and Lightfoot's opponents are seizing on the IG investigation. One of her challengers, Brandon Johnson, weighing in this morning.
The residents of Chicago are getting sick and tired of politicians always attached to corruption.
Johnson is backed by the Chicago Teachers Union, which has a rocky relationship with the mayor. CTU's vice president calling for accountability.
We know that the mayor has been soliciting students, teachers, to volunteer for her campaign for months.
Slave labor.
So don't understand how that's a mistake versus something intentional.
Now, the Board of Ethics would ultimately
pause it for a
decide
second.
on any possible.
It's always a mistake when they get caught.
Yeah.
That was the mistake, is that they got caught.
Yep. That was the mistake.
Sanctions. One potential penalty could be a fine for the Lightfoot campaign.
That's all?
Watch break.
She should be forced. Oh my God. She's going to get a slap on a fine. What's that?
Are you not entertained?
This is the photo the Sun-Times is using in their article.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's what you would see saying here.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. But
I can't possibly provide more content for Chicago Corner than I currently am with all the scandals and terrible governance that I am providing this city.
You know, I was actually impressed when she did the debate last week. She seemed to have gotten her stylist to do something flattering with her hair, but apparently she doesn't really embrace that look because she's back to the fright wig look, running things. Not that I will want to appearance shame anybody, but
I gotta get my free access here. So, you know, you guys got any leads for chocolate milk or ghost cows? Pegleg at yepchicago.com. Okay, thank you, Sun-Times. Can I see the rest of the article, please? Thank you. Okay, so here we go. Chicago Board of Ethics on Monday asked inspectors general for the city and Chicago Public Schools to investigate Mayor Lori Lightfoot's re-election campaign to determine if the campaign violated city's ethics ordinance by recruiting student volunteers at CPS and city colleges in exchange for class credit. Yeah, I can save you some time. Yes, she did. We don't even need to read the rest of this. We pretty much got the gist
what
of it
she
here.
did. She got caught with her hand. She got caught, and she threw the assistant under the bus, who she claims was somebody young with inexperience, just like the kids that she wanted to recruit to work for free, despite the amount of money that she's raising to, buy back the fifth floor with.
If you guys want to read the notes, if you want to read the article or see the videos that we may or may not have shown, you can check the show notes in the description of this video. I throw a lot of content into my show notes, so sometimes we don't get a chance to cover everything on this show. You might find that some of the stuff I had in the show notes we didn't get to show. Sometimes we show it at the next available time on Chicago Corner if it's newsworthy or something worth talking about. Other times it's just throwaway stories, like for example, Kira reminds us that it is still Chicago Restaurant Week. She says yes. I don't know if I said that right though. Was that enough S's at the end, Jerry?
Yes.
Yeah, that was actually better, I think. So so I'm going to just get really quick. If you guys want to participate in Chicago Restaurant Week, go to chooschicago.com/Chicago-restaurant-week and see what kind of offers restaurants in your area are offering. Usually they have a pre-selected set of things you can choose for either a lunch priced meal or dinner priced meal. It's a pretty good opportunity to go to places that might cost you a little more of an arm and a leg at any other time, but during Chicago Restaurant Week, you might get a deal on a really great meal. Hey, that rhymed.
So Kathy's referencing the Forbes video. What is the Forbes video?
There's a Forbes video?
She says she loves how Forbes grilled her, which I'm assuming is Lori Lightfoot, but I'm not sure.
Well, I don't have a Forbes video in my show notes, but
is Forbes the last name of a reporter? Because I'm
Forbes. Well, Forbes is a magazine.
Well, I know Forbes is a magazine, but I didn't know that. I mean, I don't understand the reference to Forbes grilling her about. I don't know about if it's about this story or something else.
Although we did have recently, Chicago Tribune just interviewed all the candidates, so they posted all their stuff recently. I had internal links for us in case we wanted to talk or about any of the bios or coverage that were for any of the specific candidates. But we can continue with the updates that I have. Let's see.
I love this tweet that you have in the show notes, and I've got it queued up.
Oh, the Anthony Moser tweet.
Should I show it?
Yeah, actually, that was the one I was about to talk about. So I'll bring that up.
I got it. Oh, you got it. Okay.
Here. Yeah, good friend of the show. Well, I don't know if he's a good friend, but I follow him on Twitter. Anthony Moser says, "I have long said that Lightfoot does not believe she was elected mayor, but elected Mayor Daley.
Elected as Mayor Daley. I had to read that to understand the context too.
Yeah,
because
this
next sentence actually clarifies, oh yeah, he's absolutely right.
As though she was entitled by right to the kind of power that takes time, effort, and sometimes, quote, doing things for people to accumulate."
Very true.
So, yeah.
But now there's a tweet underneath it also for context from Jab Victim.
Yeah,
Can I read that?
Go ahead and read it because I have to pull it up to be able to see it.
But Lori seems to think it's the other way around, that she actually had a historic mandate to run the city free from opposition, that her opponents are the only reason she didn't do better round one, especially CTU, which stuck by Preckwinkle and had a looming labor deadline. And that's what Anthony was responding to, and great context. I didn't get a chance to review the thread ahead of time because literally I was out of the airport, out of the lift to my door, and on the air with Ed at 7:25. So, but I should we open this thread to look at more what's in there?
In a minute, but first I think we need a palate cleanser. Hold on.
Hello, my name is Lori Lightfoot. While I'm running my city into the ground, I need maximum comfort. And that's why I wear slacks by Hagar.
Roomy roll-up slacks by Hagar. When you're comfortable in...
Yes.
Kathy's right.
How can you possibly even consider running for re-election after the harm you've caused? Oh, that video.
Chaos.
Yeah, I remember. There was a report for the Forbes reporter. Okay. Or it wasn't Forbes, it was News Nation, wasn't it?
Maybe the guy.
Anyway,
I seem to think
there is a video online. I think we've showed it before, where basically they flat out he starts with a couple minutes of telling her all these terrible things that have happened to the city. She started denying it, and then she tells him to get to the point, and then he asks that.
And then he got something like this.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. You will stop speaking. You will stop speaking. You're full of crap. And that's the nicest thing that I can say.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. Man, it's so easy to do this because she just gives us the content.
Yep.
So here, yeah, I've got, let me bring up, because I think we're basically getting into the same story here, because Dave Weigel was covering Lori Lightfoot at an event that I'm not even sure where it was. If anybody could recognize this place, here's Lori Lightfoot. It says at a campaign event. This is Heather Sharon retweeting Dave Weigel. So it's like it goes down the rabbit hole of Lori Palooza here. Heather Sharon tweets at a campaign event covered by a national but no local media political reporter. Lori Lightfoot said CTU local and FOP are, quote, two sides of the same coin.
You blew out the speakers on that one.
Two sides of the same coin.
In case we need to edit it for later. Okay. So yeah, Dave Weigel, he's like back on the campaign trail. See if you can figure out where, based on the clues in this photo. Dave, you're a reporter. You're supposed to tell us where. Okay, this isn't the Chicago Bar's Twitter account where he tells you he's drinking from an undisclosed location. Okay, so here's basically, I mean, look at this photo. It's basically, this is Lori auditioning for Shark Tank.
She likes, look, all of her events are controlled and managed. We saw after the first Copernicus Forum, mayoral forum, hosted by the, I think it was the 38th Ward, Dems, I think. Mm-hmm. She didn't appear, Chuy didn't appear, but she had her safe space gathering the next day with Lynn Cheney. No, not Lynn. No, it wasn't Lynn Cheney. Mary Trump, Trump's cousin. No, Trump's niece, where she had and it even said on the wall behind her, safe space forum, because Lori has to have a safe space to be able to present herself and deflect from any criticisms regarding her horrible, horrible service here in the city. So yeah, it does look like a Shark Tank presentation, though.
Yeah, so Weigel basically off of this tweet, he's got a whole thread of quotes from Lori in here.
Oh, go to town, Ed.
And so it's
share some in her voice with us, please.
All right.
The reason I talk so much about equity and inclusion is that I know what the world looks like when you don't have it.
Sure she does.
All of the great things happening in this city, and there are a lot, don't matter if you and your family don't feel safe.
Which is going to justify more money thrown to the cops and no allocation of funds or reallocation of funds to getting to the source of the root causes.
And then there's this one. He says, Lightfoot scoffing at CTU's mayoral endorsement.
They've endorsed Brandon Johnson. God bless. Brandon Johnson isn't going to be the mayor of this city.
You want to bet? Pin this tweet, everybody. Because honestly, he seems to be on the rise right now.
Yeah, Chuy's on the ropes now too. What is he, third place now with the recent polling?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not counting out all the other candidates yet. I mean, it's still early. We got a lot of time. A lot of different things can happen. Some people could come on our show and maybe change our minds. You know, if you want to come on the show and talk to us.
My mind is made up, but I'm still willing to listen to everybody's solutions.
But and the interesting part about Brandon Johnson, though, is he just recently, I guess, released a budget plan.
Yeah, I saw that video. Part of that video.
I heard on the radio this morning they were calling it a tax plan, and they were saying he was going to tax everybody, which wasn't accurate at all. So I think basically, whatever the reporters are getting to read are basically being provided by people doing smear jobs.
Doesn't this speak to the fact that the mayoral forum last week on WLS7 was not televised live? They hid it on the internet for people to have to go look for. And then you've got the hit job you just talked about. I'm telling you, man, there's a concerted media effort here in the city of Chicago not to hold her accountable by not focusing on the other candidates or putting something out like that you just shared regarding the fact that they're trying to smear Johnson as if this is like some kind of an increase in tax plan. I think that this Twitter, though, too, Ed, let me also really quickly share this, because in response to what a jab victim had shared, to which Moser had responded, her one real concrete policy initiative curbing aldermanic power was a non-starter and brought her into instant conflict with the city council. She failed to cultivate allies and work votes to get anything passed because she felt she had the mandate to do so. Now, this is speaking to the comment that she feels like she's entitled to run things like Mayor Daley Sr. did, without putting in the work to actually do things for people. Progressive organizations and activists found themselves on her bad side by asking for support on their big policy issues she didn't care about. The police academy, Lincoln Yards, etc. She didn't need their support anymore. She feeded developers and largely kept Rahm's people in place. Lastly, her attitude on governing by mandate carried over into her relations with the media. Reporters who asked questions about the decisions of city government were treated as if they attacked her personally. Now she largely just does scripted interviews with national press. And let me also add, I met a guy in Park City who was a producer, financier. He's from Chicago, from the South Side. And I'm going to invite him on the show. His name's Gary, and I don't remember his last name, but he's got my card to contact me. But because I discovered he was from Chicago, we started talking about what's happening back here. And he was excited to hear about the show. And as I started talking to him about what we talk about, he's just like, man, it's nice to hear, there are other people who've got the same perspective as people suffering on the South and West Sides. But he used a phrase, Ed, and I think I may have shared it with you, that is utterly perfect in regards to the segregation in this city and the fact that residents and citizens on the South and West Sides have been abandoned and are suffering, from Daley through Emanuel through Lori Lightfoot. It's economic apartheid is what's happening here in Chicago. To black businesses, to black people that want to work, to the neighborhoods that don't have the reallocation of funds that we are always screaming about that should be coming from what they're giving the police and reallocating to get to the root causes of violence and these very desperate people in these neighborhoods who don't have the opportunities that people in other neighborhoods do. So that's a word I'm going to be using a lot, economic apartheid. And I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to have Gary on the show to interview him as a Chicagoan, but also kind of get in this conversation as a resident on the South Side who, can even more clearly illustrate stuff that we talk about, share things that, we know a lot of the candidates are addressing, but to hear from somebody living in the neighborhood there, I thought would be very interesting. So I hope we can on soon and have this broaden this conversation.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get some more local voices to come on here. Look, if you got a small business, if you have an organization, you have something going on, and politics is affecting what you do, and you want to talk about it, come on the show. talk with us about it. It'll be a good conversation. It'll help us wrap our heads around other things going on in the city that maybe we don't have a full understanding of.
Yep.
And it's not terrible to say that you don't know everything. I know everything, just not all at once. That's what I tell people.
This is a fascinating thread. Let me just add one more thing.
Yeah. Wait. Before we get into that, I just want to revisit this really quickly here. Okay. Now, when Lori Lightfoot said CTU local and basically she was comparing the teachers union to the police union and saying they were two sides of the same coin, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
We had candidate Muiz Bawani. Remember him?
Yes, sir. Very well.
He let's see if I got the tweet here handy here. There was a tweet that he retweeted. Here it is. Give me a second here.
Yep. Here. I tried to
tweet it. Yeah. Carlos Enriquez tweeted this and Muiz retweeted that, which is how I got to see it. He basically retweeted a classic tweet from Drill. If you know Drill, he's basically what they would call a shit poster on Twitter. He's a parody account. He has basically a blurred out picture of Jack Nicholson or a version of him on his little icon there. He says, "The wise men bowed his head solemnly and spoke. There's actually zero difference between good and bad things, you imbecile, you effing moron." Effingham moron. Should I just say Effingham?
Fucking moron. You fucking moron.
Thank you, Jerry.
You're welcome. I know you've got a more delicate sensibility than I do, but as people have accused me in the past, I'm based, so I can get away with it.
I just wasn't in the mood to say it. But yeah, so yeah, this guy is this is the perfect tweet, when you could saying the two sides of the same coin. No, they're not.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to your thing. We've delayed it long enough, Jerry.
No, it was just I think that it was I also shared the link to the Twitter thread in the chat for people that want to look through it more. But Jab Victim made some great points. That speak to her thin skin and the fact that anybody who critiques her, look, not everybody's like critiquing her to criticize her personally. It's like, if you're the mayor, you should take everybody's insight and maybe course correct, but she takes it all as personal attacks. So Jab Victim said Lori never forgave those, right? And we see that in how she lashes out. Because she's got this complex of she's a martyr running things. Lori never forgave those who supported her, even showed sympathies towards Chicago Teachers Union, which saw her support both in her office and politically dwindle even further. It became a small circle of developers and yes men. Anyone who had a dissenting view was forced out. After the strike, COVID struck. Lori and her newfound pro-business allies tried to stop and then sabotage COVID restrictions wherever possible, but her campaign also rebranded her as the cool mayor who listens to science and stays home. This was relatively successful, but then came the Floyd protests, where Lightfoot again took a hard line towards protesters, defending cops even as they attacked massive protests, raising the bridges, blocking the roads into downtown. She even defended CPD's much more hands-off treatment of rioters and looters, except once, when one of her remaining allies, Bobby Rush, called her and asked why cops broke into his strip mall office and used it as a lounge, while the rest of the strip mall was methodically looted.
Yes, popcorn gate. How could we forget?
These were some of the only cops to face any discipline out of the protests.
Yeah. Kettling, arresting, legitimate protest.
Yep.
Yeah, no problem there. Just,
priorities.
Hey, they ate my popcorn. Gotta punish them.
How dare you? How dare you, sir, criticize the magnificence of my leadership in the city of Chicago?
Magnificence. Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, where are we at with this? Okay, we basically covered a ton of different tweets about Lori. We did the two sides of the same coin. We did the Anthony Moser tweet. We did the Moise retweet with Drill. We talked about Dave Weigel covering, basically a national reporter covering a local politician, while no local reporters were wherever the hell she was. I still don't know. Does anybody know where that was? I don't know. Okay. So here we got more Lori, because I mean that's all the news was. She's calling out Chuy Garcia. She's basically on the warpath now.
Yeah.
So here we go. Let's see if I can get this video to come up here. Can stand by. Or unavailable. No. Okay, they took it down. So, all right. Instead, maybe we should switch gears a little bit here, Jerry, because it is time. I think it's time. Is it time?
You're the captain.
It's time for our special guests here on Chicago Corner.
That's right.
We got Ryan from Big Picture Chicago, and he has brought his friend Joe Fernandez. Are you guys ready to talk?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Cool. All right, sound check 1 2. Your mics are all right. You guys need headphones? You okay?
I was gonna say, should we
you want to grab a beverage?
How are my levels? Because I know you said last month my mic level was really loud. So.
You could jack it up just a little bit, but it sounds better than last time.
I specifically turned it down in the settings here to try to make up for it. Give me 1 second here and I'll get connected. Wait, my bad.
Ryan, so, like I said,
how's it going?
We're pretty relaxed here at Chicago Corner. You guys want to grab a beverage, pop up some popcorn
if you haven't already.
I just want Ryan to escape from wherever he's from. What is here? This is darkness.
This is my office. I mean, you've seen it, so like with the lights on, it's just I don't know. I find there's mystery is better for this.
Is it possible to turn your camera sideways?
Cinematic. Yeah, we want the cinematic.
Yes.
There we go.
All right, now we're flying. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've had Ryan on before. He is the host of the Big Picture Chicago Movie Showcase.
The producer.
He's a producer. He does all kinds of stuff. He's the Swiss Army knife of movies. At least I'm going to call him that for now, until he changes his mind.
I'll take it.
And he hosts a movie showcase at the Patio Theater, or wherever he can host a showcase. But lately it's been at the Patio Theater, the historic Patio Theater.
That's right.
On 6008 West Irving Park Road. I think it's west.
That's right. That sounds right. Yeah. Northwest side.
In Aldermort District.
Ryan, is it possible to lower your volume just a little bit, your mic, because you're coming in really booming?
Yeah, hold on once. Oh, you know what? I think what happened is when I connect through here, I'm getting that mic. Hold on, let me do one more thing.
Flip it to automatically adjust volume. I got echo cancellation on. Let's see if the other one's working here. See, we're all right. Okay, we're all good.
How is this going?
Better? That's better. That's better.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
We should be good here. Okay, so here we are. The January showcase is Thursday night at the Patio Theater. And let me do a live read for you, since we're doing it here. A new year brings a new group of locally produced short films to Big Picture Chicago. The Big Picture Chicago January Showcase at the historic Patio Theater features shorts from Joe Fernandez, Jake Otosin, Kino Crew Productions, Kiki Hughes, Jesse Rothenberg, and Zozak, and more. Tickets are available at the door or online at etix.com/ticket/p/ we'll just post a link in the thing there. And for more.
Yes!
And for more information, head over to the Facebook page of Big Picture Chicago.
That was, of course, a clip of my video. That was me.
So, and I can find the little graphic doohickey we can put up at the end here. But we have I don't know if Jerry, you want to take over with the interview on this since you're the movie dude.
I will preface by saying I just shared the link to the Facebook in the live chat. I am completely unprepared for this, guys, because I had
that's cool.
Look at shows and stuff, but I think I know how to at least guide some of the interview here. So you've got, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 filmmakers this time out.
We've got Andy and more. So we have a couple more. Okay, a couple
That's the guy's name is And More.
And More. Andy Moore.
That would be a great name for a movie producer.
Yeah, it would. So how did you curate? And were these submissions? I mean, because talk to our audience who haven't tuned in before about.
Sure. So
all
right. So Big Picture Chicago, for those of you who haven't heard of us before, it's a show that we do every month, the last Thursday of the month at the Patio Theater, which is a big, beautiful, historic movie palace on the Northwest Side in Portage Park. And it's local films by local filmmakers on the big screen. And so a lot of these films are submissions and stuff that I've received, and other like filmmakers and people that I've known throughout the years doing stuff here in Chicago, making short films and things like that, which actually is how I know Joe. Joe is currently doing a ton of different things, but one of the things that he's doing is he has a monthly sketch show that is like written by him and starring only him, and it's really fun. And we've got one of his sketches in the show this month, from this month, his show this month as well. So it's a collection of a bunch of different stuff. This month is leaning a little more comedic in terms of the things that we have. So we've got that going for us. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm hoping everybody comes out. It's a new year. And we're very excited. And the theater's very excited for this Big Picture Chicago show. And we hope that like we're going to continue to grow it and stuff, and really have that experience of being able to see local work on a big screen. Because so often, you know, as Joe probably knows, I'm sure, you make videos and you release it like online out into the ether, and being able to experience it with an audience and like seeing it on a big screen is just a totally different experience, and one that I want to help facilitate for everybody that's here in the community doing stuff.
Seeing it not do as well as you thought it would. That great experience.
That's the way to do it. Joe, can you share some of your experience as a filmmaker with us? Let us know. Are you a short filmmaker? Or do you work in the industry here in Chicago? Let us know a little bit about your background.
Primarily in like film stuff, I do acting actually. So I've, just done like commercials. I've been on an episode of Chicago Med. So that's kind of my association generally with Chicago film. But I normally do like sketch or stuff like that. That's a little bit shorter form. I mean, I've worked on longer screenplays, but nothing that's been produced. So mostly just either sketch online or on the acting side of it. But I like Ryan said, I'm working on a project, if for no other reason, to get better at that side of it, directing and editing, which I'm still learning the tricks of the trade and such. But Ryan's been a huge help with that too, getting that project to kind of get off the ground, basically.
So you're producing projects that you can feature yourself in to share your acting skills as well.
Yeah, and also just it's hard to schedule a bunch of people, so I figure it's just easier to work on your own and with one filmmaker primarily. It's just like, if I try to do this with a group of people, it wouldn't get done until 2025. So,
how long have you been working as an actor?
Oh, since 2000. Chicago since like 2009, I want to say. Okay. So yeah. Currently with like my agency's great, Stewart Talent. They're one of the best in the city. So really happy with them. They do a great job. I don't like taping from home. I'll tell you that. Auditions, I miss going in person, setting up and doing all that stuff. I'm just not.
No, it's the best way to do it too, because casting directors, it's much better that they get your energy in person.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And also they can give you notes in the room and be like, try it this way. Yeah.
So when you are producing your films now that you feature yourself in, how do you put a cat? I mean, where do you network? How do you find other people to collaborate with to produce the material that you're putting out?
I mean, right now it's through the Chicago comedy scene because I also do stand-up. So Ryan's someone who I got introduced to through the stand-up scene, and him and I have worked on a lot of stuff together. And then there are a few stand-ups, like Stephen Haas has done The Big Picture a few times. He does really funny stuff. It's amazing. So
he's in the show as well this month. He's one of those and mores that's on there.
Yeah, what he does. I mean, his stuff is always awesome. So it's weird that he's in the and more category. But yeah, and there's a guy Rodescu Hopkins who's like a filmmaker in the stand-up scene. So it's hard because I don't know as many people on the film side in that area. I know more theater and just more actors and stuff. But
yeah, Rodescu directed the one that that we're showing this Thursday, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the thing that I find that's fun about your project specifically is because I helped Joe with one of the other months that he did his show, is the challenge of like directing when you have one actor and you have like a scene that is written without that kind of limitation in mind. It seems like there's really creative ways to like solve that and stuff. So I think he did a really great job.
Well, thanks, buddy.
I think that there is an incredible creative challenge with doing that. I'm reminded, like a couple years ago, the winning film at, I think it was the 2021 48-hour film project. And of course, this was at the end of the pandemic. Sergio Torres won Best Picture, and he wrote it, produced it, shot it, acted in it. Now, Sergio is a really prolific director here in Chicago. He does a lot, so he knew how to like give it the production value. But, most people wouldn't imagine that you can really create something very, very strong with just one person in it, with the production values that he gave it. But you can, and much to speaking to what you're talking about here too. I think a lot of people might get, what's the word? Not scared, but intimidated by picking up a camera or even using one of these, right? To just be creative and do something and not worry about giving it scale or having a lot of people in it. You can always be creative just by yourself and entertain people. And it sounds like what you're going to be presenting tomorrow night is very much in that vein.
Yeah. And I think also it's one of those things where you do have to just keep working and trying things out, and successful or not, you're only going to learn by trying. So, that's the only thing you can do. And generally, I mean, sometimes if I ever have that fear of like, how's this going to go? It's like, well, people have produced movies for millions of dollars that didn't do well. So if I'm doing a YouTube sketch show, I think it's okay if I struggle a bit. And,
well, your secret weapon, I think your secret weapon too is that you're an actor and you're a performer. You know how to improvise.
Yeah.
So you've got an incredible tool chest there, and it isn't always about, the high production values. If you can captivate an audience with your performance, the character you're creating, or the story that you can either improvise or write in advance, knowing how you're going to perform it, that a lot of films don't have good performers or actors in it. In fact, I remember telling, again, and not to like focus so much on 48-hour film project, but that's a short film festival. I would always tell the filmmakers every year, there is a local casting director that is willing to provide actors for your project. Utilize them.
Mm-hmm.
Do not recruit your mom or your sisters or your brothers. Get actual talent, because the actors are going to elevate, because they're going to know how to process your script. They're going to be able to like collaborate with you creatively and give a performance that's going to support whatever production values that you have. Make really good use of locations. Locations are characters too. You can literally build a story around a very, very unique location. And if you populate it with skilled actors and performers who know what they're doing, that's what's going to elevate your film to really satisfy an audience. So
yeah, well, I also have noticed, like, because I've normally done live sketch, and the difference between something working in film versus live is monumental. Like, you really have to add in the bells and whistles and stuff. Like, you can get away with a lot of stuff with live, but you have to have more than performance, honestly, a lot of the time. That's the flip side of it. If it doesn't really look good or whatever.
But a strong performance, I don't want to say can overcompensate for low production values, but if you get a very charismatic performer who knows what they're doing and knows how to process and understand a character, it's going to be easier to watch, even if you don't have all the bells and whistles.
Yeah.
I will say on that note, and I'm a little bit biased, but because I like Joe, I like working with Joe. But Joe has a really good range as an actor. He's it's funny because he hasn't really talked about it much, but he's a stand-up. He's a really funny guy, really good writer as well. and a really good actor. So I think, especially with your sketches, with your sketch show that you're doing, the one man thing, like even it's the idea and the writing and the range, and that you're able to like put that together, and that I think, you know, covers any of the homemade DIY production values that may occur from time to time. But anyway, I just
But the other thing I will say,
sometimes the homemade DIY production values are really fantastic, guys. I got to tell you.
Yeah, share, Ed.
You know, just like, I mean, this should win an award right here.
Oh, is this?
Hello, my name is Lori Lightfoot. While I'm running my city into the ground, I need maximum comfort. And that's why I wear slacks by Hagar.
Roomy roll-up slacks by Hagar. When you're comfortable in your complacency.
Now, I was in the lift on the way home from the airport tonight, and I was, feverishly texting Ed about the fact, that he got in touch with you guys. So we hopefully had some clips to share with our audience of the type of independent filmmaking that they can expect to see when they join you guys. I'm going to try to make it out this Thursday myself for the Patio Big Picture Chicago Showcase. So do we have some clips, Ed, that we can share with the audience?
Do. And before I show the first one, I just want to ask Joe, is it hard to get clown makeup off?
Oh, I haven't seen this to know what's coming.
Yeah, no, it's a pain. It's also I actually filmed another sketch with Stephen Haas actually that had to be in clown makeup, and also with the big floppy shoes and everything. It's just like, this is very, very uncomfortable, and this better be worth it to do this. So yeah.
Are there baggy pants involved also?
No, that's the low production value too, is the costumes. It is very much like, I don't even know what I was wearing, like probably jean overalls or something. I can't even remember, but yeah.
Okay.
There you are.
Oh, God.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just the still works for me, I mean,
it tells the story.
I mean, this is Museum of Contemporary Art level right here.
That honestly would be a good impression. That would be a good Monet right there.
Yeah, I'd buy that.
Clown in a park.
Okay, so let's watch. This one is called. What's this one called? It's Why It's Hard Being a Clown.
Okay. Now, we don't want to show the full.
This was in a previous show, but this will not be in the
okay, I didn't want people to watch here and not come out Thursday, but this is an example of Joe's.
Yeah, this one's a little over 3 minutes.
So we can just do like a minute or two.
Okay.
But yeah. Mm-hmm.
What a day. I hear you. I didn't get a single booking today. Now one. Some rough time for clowns. Dude, I got in this to entertain kids. 70 to 78, no problems. It was the golden era for clowning. And then, Gacy gets arrested. Tell me about it. So now, no one wants clowns because one guy had to go out and murder fuck a bunch of people. It ain't fair. So the 80s, a dead decade for clowning. Then 88 and 89 roll around. People forget about Gacy. They start booking clowns again. And then, boom, it runs as a miniseries on ABC. And of course, they have to make it a scary clown. Yep. And they didn't get just any actor either. They got Tim motherfucking Curry. That guy's a goddamn gem. Rocky Horror Picture Show, Clue, not to mention Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. So, of course, he delivers a terrifying performance. And now, people are back to being scared clowns again. It's a goddamn shame. I mean, when are people going to realize we're just trying to make them fucking happy? No one's out here trying to fuck kill nobody. Sing it, sister. I mean, dolls are scary. Ventriloquist dummies are scary. But I don't see American Girl or Jeff Dunham taking a hit. Probably because they don't exist since 1990. What can you do? You should go back to having a day job. I can't hold down a day job. Why not? Here, I'll show you.
We can cut it there just because this is a TikTok.
That was great.
Yeah.
So what inspired
that was great.
so you guys got together and wrote that together? What inspired the? So where do you start? by the way, hilarious, great, enjoyed it. What preceded and inspired you guys? Oh, you did that. There we go.
Sorry, I'm hitting the wrong buttons here.
And you hit the wrong button again. So
Joe!
hold on. I got it. Okay.
You got it?
So
Okay.
my question was, so what preceded and inspired you guys to decide, let's do a clown short and let's script it that way, and tell us a little bit about what went into that.
Well, so the thing I do is called Solo Sketches with Joe, and it's basically a half hour, like I wanted to do something that was like sketch that'd be different, where it's themed, and there are things that run in and out of it that are kind of a story. So the first episode was Halloween themed, so that was in regards to Halloween and like different scary clowns and stuff. And so some of the other sketches involved like different late night TV show hosts introducing the sketches as the thread. And then the most recent one was politics, which I know you guys were talking about Lori Lightfoot recently. So
endlessly.
Yeah. So the one that I just did recently, the thread was just updates, kind of like the midterms on how the show was going and showing where people were watching, and slowly but surely people stop watching as the show goes on or whatever. So kind of that kind of stuff. This next one's going to be on religion. So again, all three, the first one was really fun and silly. The next one that I'm working on, I was actually writing it before we started. So it's like politics and religion. Those are the two that I guess we'll see how it goes. But
But
yeah,
I mean,
that's
you're gonna hit third rails in comedy no matter what you talk about.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I think that I like the idea of a sketch show that's also got a thread going through it. That's not a callback necessarily, but like, here's the thing that makes it a cohesive piece. And I thought if I make it a themed show, it'll be easier to do that. So the through line for the first one is late night movie, like, Elvira, Vincent Price, Sven Gulli, obviously a Chicago legend, each one of them taking their turns setting up the next sketch, and that's the through line there. And then second one is CNN updates on the viewers, coming back to then bring in the next sketch that's political. So I mean, it is hard though, just because I don't have a film brain, and I'm still learning that on how to write for film rather than live sketch, because like brevity is way better for a film sketch than live. Live, you want it to be like a 6 to 8 minute thing, but with a film sketch, you're kind of pushing the boundaries a bit, especially if it's kind of like a pattern sketch where it's like, this needs to be a story if it's going to be longer than 3 minutes. So
Joe, can I also ask you, where can people see you perform your sketch comedy?
Sketch, not as much anymore. I mean, I do the Paper Machete a lot at the Green Mill. Do you know that place?
Okay.
Yeah. So Saturday.
I know what the Green Mill is. No, I saw Ed. I saw that you shared the YouTube channel, but I mean, I was asking more.
Oh, you mean live?
See him live, yeah. In person, when he's out performing, aside from the shorts that are going to be at the Big Picture Chicago.
Yeah. So Saturday's about once a month. I'm at the Paper Machete, and that's a show at the Green Mill. Saturday at 3:00, but for some reason it's always packed. I don't know how they do that, but it's a show where you have to do a piece based on the past week's news events. So yeah, it's really fun, really good. He's had me play George Santos twice in the past 3 weeks, so that's been something.
Do you record those? Because those would be fun to like share afterwards here on.
Oh yeah, actually a couple of sketches I have online. One is we did QAnon Shaman's January 6th testimony.
Okay.
And then
we got to put him in touch with, because I don't know if you know too much about our little station here, but Chicago Corner focuses mostly on the local politics, but our colleagues and umbrella company, Hardlands Media, they cover national stuff. So maybe we can filter some of Joe's funny sketch comedy on news stuff to Kit to show over on Hardlands Media.
That'd be great. I mean, I can send over some of the Paper Machete clips too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So your YouTube channel, is there also a link to your website where people can follow your schedule, or do you have your own website?
They can either go to joefernandezcomedy.com, but I mostly post on Instagram. So if you go to @JoeFernandezComedy on Instagram, that's where a lot of the stuff is.
Okay, cool.
A lot of shorts too. Like I posted like some YouTube shorts just in case we wanted to show some of those, but those are not.
Let's run them.
More. I mean, yeah. Let's see which one.
Ed's got him queued up.
Let's see what I got queued up here.
Ed was scripting the show, so he'll.
I sent you another one just now that I forgot. It did really well for some reason on YouTube, but.
Now, Joe, I do have one quick question about the clown sketch. I've always wanted to know, what came first, the idea for the sketch or the murder fuck? Because I feel like that is like the crux of the sketch. And like, did it grow from that as a seed, or was that like a discovery upon writing it? That's
No, I just always thought, like, man, I wonder if clowns are scary because of what happened with Gacy. Like, were they always scary, or was it like that?
I think they were always scary, but I think that we kind of overlooked how scary they could be. I mean, there are genuine pathos clowns and, you know, sad clowns, but I've always thought that there's something a little bit creepy about clowns.
You know what ruined clowns for me forever was the movie Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
That's a great movie.
I've never seen that, and I really want to.
If you watch this, you'll know why people are freaked out about clowns still.
Well, there's a famous lost film that you could, if you dig around on YouTube, you might be able to find some clips from it. Jerry Lewis produced a film, I want to say the 1960s, early 70s, called The Day the Clown Cried. And he played a World War II era clown that was in a concentration camp whose job it was to make the children, to entertain the children and make them laugh before they were taken to the gas chambers.
Oh my
I don't know what was in Jerry Lewis's mind. I mean, and I guess
he directed it too, didn't he?
Directed it, he acted it, and it was supposed to be his magnum opus, and it was, you know, it was about the pathos surrounding how his character was basically trying to transition the kids in the only way that he knew how, right? Which I guess, you know, is a noble thing, but it's ripe for like that's like a comedy sketch. How do you think that you can like pull the pathos out of that without people just laughing at the whole concept of a clown entertaining the kids and making them laugh before they meet their doom? And
yeah, I know.
Or just like him showing his agent the first cut, and his agent like, wait,
so
what?
he locked up. But you might be able to find. I think that there's some footage from documentaries on YouTube if anybody's curious about that. But as we're talking about clowns,
Do you know? Was it that like the production got shut down? Because I don't remember. Or did he himself like decide not to release it, or was it like financing fell apart?
No. He decided not to release it. I don't know if it was finished. I know that they had a cut, and for some reason, he decided to. And maybe it's because he shared it, and people were like, "What were you thinking?" And you know, Jerry was an egomaniac, so he always wanted to protect his legacy too. But I mean, at the conception phase, it's like, dude, you might want to rethink this. Ironically, though, there was a Academy Award-winning film that came out many years later with that Italian comedian. And
Life is Beautiful, right?
Yeah, and
Won an Oscar for it, right?
And that was in a that was like he was
playing a game to get his kid to think that they were playing a game rather than
So maybe Jerry was onto something. Maybe the misstep though was like making it a clown. Because I just
well, maybe it's just the execution. You know, I feel like you really got to walk the line on that one to get it just right tonally. Big swing and maybe a big miss. I wonder, like, I assume that eventually that will all like come out like on like a Criterion edition someday. Because it's like a trivia answer for like film nerds, you know, that like know about like movies that were, you know, infamous movies that were like never released. There's interest in it.
I think it's going to be up to his estate or what his last wishes were, because, you know, in the end, he still didn't want it released. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see what happens, but it's all inspired by the conversation on clowns, and Jerry was one of the biggest ones and biggest a-holes too. But you look for clips on Jerry Lewis, the most famous clown in American cinema, on YouTube in his last days, and he was not a nice guy. He was anyway.
Okay.
Went off on a tangent. Okay,
all right. I've got one. I got one of the shorts here.
well, actually, could you do the one I just sent? Unless you watched that one and liked that one, but
which one?
It's the time machine one.
The time you? Where did you send?
This one it comes up fuzzy. I just sent it to the email thread we had.
Oh,
okay. They have a text here. Put it in the chat.
We do have a private chat in here.
Take the little chat button down there, and
there you go. This one did pretty well on YouTube. I have friends who are history buffs who liked it a lot. Anyway, this should be less fuzzy than that one.
And hope it plays right here.
Yeah.
Hey, check it out! I built a time machine. Oh, sick! Yeah, so now you can go back in time and kill Hitler. What? The first thing you do if you had a time machine was go back in time and kill Hitler. Well, I guess I could go do it and then come back real quick, right? Yeah, as long as they don't catch you. Because if they catch you, you're going to a concentration camp to die a slow death. Right. Guess I was braver when it was a hypothetical. Well, maybe I'll just kill baby Hitler. That was messed up, man. What do the history books say? Despite the efforts of Barry, the time-traveling assassin, the Holocaust happened because of people like Goebbels and Himmler, and that it was more born out of the fact that after World War I, the Treaty of Versailles was an instrument of vengeance that left the defeated nations vulnerable to extremist movements promising revenge. So you're telling me I killed the baby for nothing? I mean, unless it was on your bucket list. Hey, check it out.
Yeah, that's
I can
bucket
see why your
list.
history-loving friends like that one too.
Yeah.
It's got good lesson in it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to play, I mean, we can play this one. I have no idea how this one did online. Actually, I haven't checked it, but yeah, that's the problem with doing these shorts, though. Too, is that the framing is really hard to get right, and then you have to like resize it, and then it's fuzzy. It's just like
resolution. Yeah.
Well, because I mean, and then if you want to show it on a format like this, now you got all this black space on the left and the right.
Right. Yeah.
Right. But that's the app is designed that way, so.
Yeah. So.
We'll let you know if we have anything available.
See if I can zoom
Okay.
in. Nope.
Thanks. Whoa, hey! What's wrong with him as a candidate? Come on, he's blind. How could he possibly work in a record store? Oh, dude, you're being ableist. Ableist? Yes. Who's ableist? I am. What the hell? Oh, no.
7 years ago, I hate amputees.
Whoa!
Being ableist, you can fool some of the people all the time. and All the people some of the time. But if you're in a wheelchair, you should be shot into space.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm saying. You don't want to be like him. I think I've learned my lesson. Those who deny freedom to others deserve it not for themselves. Unless you're deaf, then you should be kept in a cage.
Right, that's enough.
Yeah, I don't know why he's our human resources guy.
Good one.
Okay.
It can get pretty dark and disturbing.
Yeah, I actually when I first moved to the city, I had my second roommate that I had was a comedian. He came from Iowa. He's like, dude, come out and see my stand up. And when you'd hang with comedians, you hang with a lot of comedians, and they all tell the worst, dirtiest jokes possible.
Very dark.
I mean, the ones you don't even hear on stage. It's like, and then you know, and then when we all encountered the aristocrats joke. I don't know. You've ever told that, but that it gets. And a lot of times it's like a challenge, basically, just to see how much you can offend people to the point of absurdity, because that's what that's like. It's like you're trying to shock. You're like, the people need to the people are in the audience. Half of them are in on the joke and understand that you're being shocking for shocking's sake, and other people get offended and storm out. And it's kind of.
Or that you're aware of it's kind of like the Archie Bunker thing, where you're aware that it's the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And that's what you're making fun of. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
There is one other one that Ryan directed, though, that has a buddy of mine, and it's not a solo sketches. Do you want to show any of his guy talk one that you'd want to show, Ryan?
Yeah, if you want to.
That, or I've got the horror movie Roommate one, which I wanted to watch, because that one's kind of good.
We could do that.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let's do that one.
Oh, yeah, Matt Riggs is in the other one. Mr. Riggs.
Okay. Buckle up, everybody. If you're easily startled, you might want to, maybe knock the volume down a little bit.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Huh? My new roommate? It kind of sucks because he's an actor. Well, he just got cast in a horror movie as character revealed in a shot to induce a jump scare, so he's been rehearsing all week. Yeah, it's like every time I turn a corner, Awesome. Can I take a leak when you're done?
Jeez! Oh. Mind if I throw one pair of underwear in? Why are you always eating oatmeal?
Nice production values here too, Ryan. Really nicely done.
No, I know. Ryan did a great job. This is where also, well, yeah.
Did you think I was in there? I have to get out of here.
Where are you going?
I don't know. I have to get out of here. I have to get away from you.
Okay, well, on your way back, could you pick up some oatmeal? We're all out.
That's the Monet shot right there.
Good carry through.
That's the one.
Well, I will say, and it's one of those things that upon further review, because I was editing all that, it's like, oh, that took, that like little stretch is such a long little thing. Because I'd been watching Scream, and I think that obviously is pretty much the entire thing they do. But
that one personally was fun for me just on that note, because me and Joe have worked together a lot of times over the years on different shorts and stuff. But that was the first time I think that I had shot footage and you edited it. And I, first of all, thought you did a great job cutting that together. But that was actually just a fun exercise for me, because usually I'm like shooting stuff and then I have to like put it together after. And just to like see you do that was really cool. Yeah, I would also say that laundry room looks suspiciously familiar. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
you know what I was
like the murder fucking clown hangout or something.
I was expecting him to turn to the dryer and him to be inside the dryer when he opened up the door.
Oh, that would have been okay.
No, right. It worked out the other way. It worked out the other direction.
I had a friend who saw it too. He's like, "How could you not do the mirror shot?" And I'm like, "Because it's just me. I can't put me behind me in the mirror." Like, it's like, we only have so much space and so many things we can do.
Yeah, and that's a standard shot too, that mirror shot, because I remember we talked about that of like, the person's here and you go down, the other person's behind them, but like to do that with just you, that's kind of like what I was talking about earlier with Radescu, with your the sketch is going to be in this show, just like the challenges of trying to like figure out how to frame not necessarily the dialogue but the action, because you'll write the scripts with like characters still interacting and normal action beats in there, which by the way is great, because that's the kind of stuff that like translates to film too, right? But then like figuring out how to do that, like how to have characters interact with each other when you're the only person is an interesting creative challenge.
Yeah. Doing facial reactions to nothing is not the most fun thing.
But it works. And like what I love about you wrote it, you starred in it, and you edited it, so like you had an idea of like the rhythm of it. And so it was interesting for me, because I actually, for that show, I shot a couple of things for you, but I didn't have time to edit because that month was just completely packed. So you ended up editing everything, and you have like obviously a natural understanding of rhythm of comedy and stuff, because you do stand up and write and everything as well. But like the rhythm that you have is like real crisp with your editing. So don't look like a beginner at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I mean, I need help with audio mixing sometimes, and that's
yeah.
Okay, I think we got time for one more. Let's see. You wanted to see Guy talk?
Yeah, this is one Ryan directed. That I really love the pacing of this one. He edited it too, so Ryan did a really good job with this one.
Oh, there's Matt Riggs.
Big as I can make that. Okay. It's a little bigger.
Actually, a fun note, filmed over not in Portage Park, but nearby Jefferson Park. Okay, so in the neighborhood where Big Picture Chicago will be on Thursday at the Patio Theater, very nearby.
Yep.
Yeah.
So here we go. Switching over, hitting the play button.
Hi. Sorry I'm late. Got into a car accident on the way over here.
You okay?
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. You should see the other guy. He's dead.
Well, how'd your date go last night?
How was my date last night? You tell me. Yeah, that's right. She was nice and fun, and I really liked her a lot. And I went home and slept all night with 2 fingers in my asshole.
That's how you know you got to keep her.
Yeah. I know. Oh, hey, how'd your day go last night?
Good. We fucked.
Ew. That is so crass.
Insane.
So, Big Picture Chicago January Showcase, January 26th. That's this Thursday night.
That's right. Only $5 there at Patio Theater. I have a bar. We'll have concessions, and we'll be hanging out a little bit afterwards. This year, the theater wants to kind of expand our mixer element after the show, so we'll be hanging out there, and there'll be some music and it'll be fun. I hope everybody comes out and sees it. And there's stuff from Joe that we didn't see tonight, and there's stuff from a lot of other filmmakers that are local, and more. And again, we're doing it every Thursday, every month, the last Thursday of the month at the Patio Theater. And also for everybody out there, if you have submissions, if you have short films, you'd like to see your work on the big screen, reach out. You can find Big Picture Chicago on Instagram, on Facebook, or you can send an email to bigpicturecomedy@gmail.com or bigpicturechicago_submissions@gmail.com. It's a lot of words to spell without messing up, but good luck. But anyways, guys, reach out. I would love to be able to show your work on the big screen.
And I would also encourage everybody to share the link on their social media. Also help drive some traffic to them on Facebook. Share, get your friends together and come out on Thursday and see these emerging new filmmakers here in Chicago. You have a lot of fun. Great social event also to meet new people.
Mm-hmm. And also, what was the name of the guy who the 48 Hour Fest? Sergio, what was his name?
Sergio Torres.
I would love to watch that if it's online somewhere.
Look him up on YouTube. You should be able. I think he posts his stuff on YouTube. And what was his production company? Just look up Sergio. You'll find him. Torres. Great guy.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
He actually won the 48 Hour Film Project best film several years in a row.
Oh wow!
Very talented young man.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right. Well, thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
man.
thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Always happy to have you, and we will continue to have Ryan and his filmmakers on the Tuesday before the last Thursday of every month, so that people can come out and be reminded of going to see Big Picture Chicago over at the Patio Theater.
Yeah, guys, and check out Joe Fernandez at all the Joe Fernandez locations.
Yeah.
At Joe Fernandez Comedy. Mm-hmm. On all of the platforms that he is on, including YouTube. He's got a whole lot of content on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you're doing a lot of Instagrams and TikToks and all those other things that are popular with
the
kids.
TikToks I hate, but you got to do it. It's part of the...
So you'll be entertained.
You're also on Tubi as well, am I right?
That's right. If you want to see my first stand-up special, it's on Tubi. I taped my second one at Laugh Factory. I don't know when it'll be out, but the first one, it's called Ugly on Tubi if you want to check it out.
Cool.
All right.
Gentlemen, thanks for joining us. And
Thank
we
you so
hope to
much
see
for
everybody
having
out
us.
Thursday night at Patio Theater, everybody.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Good night.
All right. Well, that was a pretty decent show.
Yeah.
So, we had a lot of good stuff. We had our tribute to Lynn Bramer. We talked about Lori way too much. But you kind of have to when you're talking Chicago politics.
But she fit the comedy theme also.
She did fit the comedy. she did fit the comedy theme, and I think that's our cue here
That's
to
right.
show this thing one more time. If I can find the thing in my list of things that are here. Where did I put it?
There were a couple other things in the show notes, though. Did you want to go over anything else, or just let people find stuff there?
Should we cover? Oh, actually, I guess what do we got here?
Well, there was one story before we brought in our guest that you were talking about. Well, actually, it's kind of an update. Lori calls Chuy to come clean about. I'm sorry, Lori calls the stash to come clean about ComEd, etc. And then I guess we didn't go in. People can find it in the notes about Brad Johnson's tax the rich plan to bankroll social services. I mean, that's kind of a important thing for everybody to take a look at when they can.
Oh, here we go. No, that's not. Oh, there it is. Yes. I know. It's like I got a million tabs open right now. It's kind of fun, actually. So here we go. One final shot at glory and stardom and fame. Here it is.
Hello, my name is Lori Lightfoot. While I'm running my city into the ground, I need maximum comfort. And that's why I wear slacks by Hagar.
Is that a real
slacks by Hagar? When you're comfortable in your complacency.
What was the question, Jerry?
Is Hagar a real designer, or did you make that up?
Hagar is a company that makes slacks, but it's HAGGAR. The logo you're seeing there, some of you may recognize from the funny papers.
Yes, that's what I thought you were doing.
Anybody remember Hagar the Horrible?
Yes,
he's like an old Viking in a comic strip.
Would have been really even more of an Easter egg. It could have been roomy roll-up slacks with that logo design by Heller. Heller. Since you did the whole parody too.
Yeah, I suppose I could have done
with your logo. Too. Anyway, but it's funny both ways.
Yeah, I just thought because Hagar is an actual company that makes slacks.
Gotcha.
So.
Well, I understand the reference.
And and the music is fair use, or it's there no copyright strikes on that, so don't worry about that. We hope. But we'll be good. We'll be good there. So what else did we have on our radar that we probably didn't really have time to talk about? Oh yeah, we mentioned Chicago Restaurant Week. There was an article from People for Bikes where they're saying they were wrong about the Sharrows. And for those who don't know what Sharrows are, it's those painted bike lanes that we got all over the city.
They felt they were wrong. Wrong how? What?
The article basically goes into saying how it really wasn't very effective in improving traffic structures or safety. So
I see.
It's kind of hit or miss there. I mean. Plus, it's just because these things are painted on the roads, it confused more drivers than it helped, make them aware of the lanes existing. And I don't know. I commute every day. When I'm driving back and forth, I see the signs that say that there are bike lanes there, and I try to give bikers space when it makes sense and when I can.
Even though there are sidewalks that they could be using that are unused by pedestrians.
Sure,
point.
Some of the roads in Chicago are somewhat narrow, so it is kind of hard to have bike lanes in every single street.
Geniuses decided to throw them everywhere without any thought of how it congests traffic and that you've got all the empty sidewalk space that's unused. That you could figure out how to zone and maybe, put some rules in place so that pedestrians and bikers could use them, or split the really wide sidewalks in those long stretches. But let's just congest all the streets and piss everybody off and actually make it more dangerous for bikers. Mm-hmm. Because you know what, Ed? Streets were not designed for people on bicycles. Okay. And I'll tell you this too. I've biked and I don't want to be in a street near a big motorized vehicle. And I'm not advocating that, like, it's a lesser, there's lesser, we should worry about there being lesser damage with a pedestrian and a bicyclist, but you're not going to have like the kind of horrible injuries with perhaps a bicyclist brushing a pedestrian or vice versa that you're going to have with a bicyclist basically being smeared by a motorized vehicle. So, but what do I know?
Yeah. So,
what do I know?
All right. Kathy is commenting late on this, but let's just bring it back up for a second here.
All right.
Okay. Kathy thinks it's Maggiano's, and then the question becomes the Schaumburg one or the Oakbrook one or one of the other ones. We don't know. But it might be.
Yeah.
I mean, anyway.
All right.
I think we could. We want to wrap this up. There are other things in the store. I mean, should we talk about the guy who told the city he wasn't seeing the right amount on his water bill, and then they started sending him a way crazy high amount that couldn't possibly be accurate. And now now they're going for collections. Like this guy, you know what? I could probably throw this video up here.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me though. Even though they know they're wrong.
Yeah, we got 3 minutes to kill
It's
here.
great to have you with us here at 5. I'm Joe Dahmer.
And I'm Erica Sargent. So how did a regular water bill for about $200 a month balloon into $5,000 overnight? The CBS 2 investigators have been covering the problem for years as part of our Getting Hosed series on bad water bills.
CBS 2 investigator Megan Hickey joins us live from City Hall with this latest billing nightmare. Megan?
All right, I just like that they actually. That's clever, getting home.
No, this is an important because this guy's not the only guy that this kind of stuff's happened to. I was overbilled by ComEd when I had a landlord of my own, and I discovered that there were 2 units in the building, 2 electric meters, but there was the landlord's father was living in the basement and tied into my electricity. And when I went to ComEd, they said, it's your problem. We're not refunding the money that we've overbilled you, and you're responsible for it. Even though it's like clear when they sent somebody out to investigate that the building was wired wrong. So the utilities they don't just give a shit. They don't give a shit. It's like they've got their money. They're not going to work with you. They're not, even when they're in the wrong, and that there are other parties responsible. So I think that this is
and what's happened is these companies basically create a structure where it's easier for people to set up payment for you, not easy for them to deal with the customer service issue, and that's by design.
Of course.
They don't want. Even if they're in the wrong, they just don't want you to have easy access to correct anything if it ends in their favor.
Yep.
Right, Joe and Erica, what's frustrating about this story is this homeowner was just trying to be an honest guy and alert the water department to an unusually low bill. Now, 5 months later, 2 new water meters. He is facing an inexplicable $20,000 water bill, and he tells us he has nowhere else to turn.
Do you see it running?
No.
Do you see it changing?
No. So you're saying if this was leaking right now, the numbers would be running up?
Yes.
Right, and they're not.
And they're not.
Ronaldo Santiago went out of his way.
Do you hear the toilet hissing?
No.
To prove to us that there couldn't be a leak at his property in Irving Park East.
Even Beanie says, hey, I'm thirsty. Shut the water off.
Even several city crews told him that.
They said no leaks.
Got it.
Do you see any water on my neighbors?
No.
Both sides gushing out.
But when his water bill in August mysteriously came out to $0, he reached out to the city.
So you tattletaled on yourself.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
He's owned the property for 30 years and has recently averaged about $200 a month in water usage. But the bill in September came out to more than $5,000.
Right.
Tired and on a
Were they billing him? But he mentioned it was 1 month.
Yeah, how long
month.
was it 0?
That's what I'm wondering here. Or maybe we'll see. They should mention if they're issuing a bill for the months that he was getting a 0 bill, but my assumption here is he reported it after 1 month, which should be a $200.
Yeah. Even if it, even if it had been a year, it wouldn't be more than 120, right?
Yeah.
If I'm doing the math right there. So where are they getting 5,000 from? I mean, that makes no sense.
No.
On a fixed income, that's not a bill he and his family can afford to pay.
I'm scared. Honestly, I am scared because when I see this bill and then they're threatening for collection notice.
Reynaldo is a meticulous note taker, recording every single call and dropped call with the water department and finance department, who
I
kept
bet there are a lot of
promising
those
to get
dropped
the billing
calls.
issue sorted out. But 5 months later, no fix, and that bill has now exploded to more than $20,000.
What? How?
Whoa. Whoa.
What?
Jesus
I
Christ.
mean, somebody's getting their water bills
For
diverted.
free. Yeah. And this
And
is a
so-
utility problem. It's not his problem. I mean, if he was getting a zero bill, that would mean that his meter wasn't. You can look at your water meter and see rotations.
Yeah, I think somebody needs to get Alderman Carlos on this one, unless it's the other alderman. Where he's in Irving Park East. Okay, that could be 33rd or 35th ward. Probably it might be 33rd ward.
Yeah.
In which case, it's my old alder person. But yeah, and then how can the mayor let this go on?
Oh, she can let everything go. Let's hear how it resolves, though. If it resolves.
I'm definitely getting hosed.
The Department of Finance would only say they don't comment on individual accounts
Uh-huh.
and that they'd reach out to this customer to assist in resolving their billing issue. Reynaldo says he's been talking to that very department this whole time, and he worries he'll never get this fixed.
I'm an honest person. I just want my water bill to be corrected.
Now, again, Reynaldo has had his meter replaced twice. We did reach out to the Department of Finance again and asked, what is the issue? Human error, some problem with the meter, or if they're really claiming that he used 1.3 million gallons worth of water. We did get a late response today, about 10 minutes ago, where they just said they have maintained regular communications with him over the past several months, as late as last week. But again, so far, the issue has not been fixed.
At
Live
what
City
point
Hall,
does it?
Megan Hickey, CBS 2 investigators.
At what point does he get an attorney involved to basically go after the water department for harassment and fraudulent billing?
I mean, regular citizens, we can't afford attorneys. So
Well, but here's the thing, though, Ed. I'm going to say this: attorneys are driven by deep pockets. The water department's got deep pockets, so if any attorney could jump on this and advocate for this.
true. Especially, I mean, and since CBS 2 decided to do a story about it, and now we're talking about it.
Now there's tape. Now there's tape.
Now there's basically information out there, and they're like, what the hell's up with this?
Right.
What's going on?
Right.
How does these things happen?
And how does somebody at the water department not say, "Oh my God, this is completely fucked"? Yeah, we're going to fix this, instead of giving you a runaround forever, despite all of his efforts to correct it and figure out what the hell's going on. And he's she said it in the story. He's meticulous about documenting his phone calls, taking notes, recording stuff. So clearly, this is not on him.
No,
I feel bad for the guy.
Anyway, so thank you, Megan Hickey. We think your hair is very nice and stylish and long.
Yes.
And,
yes, that's true.
Yeah, she's actually classing up the show right now. She's not even talking.
She's the news babe. CBS news babe.
Yep. So there we are with the crazy water bill story. I don't know if we want to talk about some of these updates. I mean, one of them is just kind of depressing to even mention. There was an awful story, I think it was like a year ago, where a pregnant woman was lured by another woman, and her baby was taken from her, and which ended up costing the woman her life. And then So the boyfriend who had helped cover it up is getting out early for good behavior, and he has to serve like 6 months of probation. So that was the update to that story. There's the link in the show notes if you want to read about it, but it's just too. It's just plain evil for someone to do that.
Yeah,
and we had covered it at the time.
I do recall. Yeah.
Okay. There is a new municipal debt relief option. We got a story from Chicago Corner, Block Club Chicago. Sorry, we are Chicago Corner. Got city debt. New programs offer Chicagoans relief, a way to pay it off. The city's launched a pilot program that will help provide some relief to people who face debt from administrative hearing violations. It says Chicagoans who have racked up debt from a variety of city offenses could find relief through new programs. The city has launched a pilot program to provide some relief to people who face debt from administrative hearing violations, which can cover anything from littering to playing the radio too loud.
How about that? Just fucking forgive the debt.
Yeah.
Just done, gone. Write it off.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we need to say.
That's what we need to do.
Yeah, these people got debt. You forgive them. You wipe it out. Let these people get on with their lives.
The amount of money this city rakes in on this kind of shit, and while they're claiming they're poor all the time, it's just enough. Enough's enough.
Yeah, so they got hardship relief programs. You can go. Let's see, what's the online thing here? Go to chicago.gov. And there's a administrative debt relief program if you qualify. Look, get the relief if you need it. But the reality is they shouldn't even be bothering with this. They should just say, look, we're just gonna have an amnesty for this.
Yeah. Wasn't Lori running on providing some kind of amnesty stuff? I seem to remember we recently, several months ago, that she was proposing some kind of amnesty. Maybe this is it, and it didn't become full amnesty. It's just this, we're going to still nickel and dime you for something.
Yeah, well, you know how it goes. It's like she finds some reason to make it. And Paul Vallis got an endorsement that was bankrupt on arrival.
Oh, I shared something on Facebook that popped up in my timeline from 4 years ago, and it was and I shared it 4 years ago when Vallis was running for mayor about the CPS uninvestigated sex abuse scandal, and I reshared it on my Facebook, and I'm like, do Chicago voters remember this? Here's a reminder, because I haven't heard anybody talking about it in this cycle, although I've brought it up here a couple times as to why, along with the endorsement from the Fraternal Order of Police, why the guy is just completely unqualified, despite the fact he thinks is entitled to it. Look, Vallis is a Republican running as a Democrat is what he is.
Yeah, but he's got a celebrity endorsement from Geraci Law, the bankruptcy lawyers, Jerry. Yeah, I don't know. Look, I don't know if I'm too thrilled with Geraci giving Paul Vallis money. Give me that money, dude.
Yeah.
I'm on the verge of bankruptcy again. Come on. All right, not really. It's just, I got bills to pay, ladies and gentlemen. And speaking of bills to pay, thank you for supporting us, our Patreons. We very much appreciate the support that you give this tiny little channel on the interwebs. And if you would like to support Chicago Corner, you can support us at patreon.com/Chicago Corner.
And don't forget, you can also contribute to helping Chicago with, where is it? Where are they? They've disappeared. The overlays disappeared. Did we get rid of them?
Which ones are you looking for?
Flavor improving mugs.
Oh, you took them out because we needed them to make room for the candidates.
Oh, sorry. Okay. We'll have to put those back.
That's okay. But you can head to our Redbubble shop. There is a link in the description below. You will have access to wonderful flavor improving mugs that have the Chicago Corner logo, or the hot cocoa mugs, which feature a quote about the ghost of Peg Leg Sullivan.
There you go. What more could you ask for?
So here we go. We are done.
Awesome.
So
That means
it is.
get some
Yes.
dinner.
No porn bots either, Jerry. I'm kind of disappointed, actually.
Despite my efforts dropping the F-bomb?
Yeah. So thank you. So thank you very much once again to our Patreon.
Greetings, citizens of the internet, or whatever the hell this is. My name is Lori Lightfoot, and I have commandeered this channel to let you know that I completely disapprove of the content that is on this platform. And I hope that you agree with me, so that if you do, make sure that you are not supporting this channel by going to patreon.com/Chicago Corner. Whatever you do, avoid this channel's Patreon at all costs. My re-election is counting on you, and I hope that if we can all do things that are... I'm losing my train of thought, and I have no idea why the hell I'm still on this broadcast.
She got through again, didn't she?
She did.
All right,
I think I gotta depart soon. This guy he missed me for 3 days. Look at him. Look at him. Look at
He's
him.
like, dude, you owe me like half a week's worth of scritches, man.
That's right. That's right.
And I'm cashing in on the live stream. So, thank you for joining us on this Tuesday evening on Chicago Corner. On behalf of me, Ed Heller, Jerry Vasilatos, and Oreo the Cat, we thank you for joining us this evening and hope you will join us again on Friday evening at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, where Jerry gets to drive the bus once again.
And we continue to cover the carnage.
And we continue to cover the carnage
of the Lightfoot administration.
Of the Lightfoot administration and all of the amazing things going on in the city of Chicago.
Not funny.
It's never funny with you, Lori. Never. So thank you again, everyone in the live chat for joining us. Thank you to our Patreon supporters, and have a pleasant evening. And I hope that we didn't keep you up too late. You know, it's a school night. So take care of each other. Don't be too hard on yourselves. Take care of yourself. You know, drink plenty of fluids. You know, fluids are good. You know, stay hydrated. Electrolytes can be an important thing, you know. And you know, don't be too crazy on the roads, you know. Give people a little space. I hear that Chai Blizmageddon is returning once again, Jerry. We got more snow in the forecast.
Are the weathercasters going to be going out of their minds with their hairs on fire? Because
that, and you know, they need to show off those brand spanking new names that they're going to be putting on the plows, even though the best name has not been offered as a choice anymore.
Sadly. What if that name just suddenly appeared on one of the plows, though? Like somebody went and painted it.
You know, I would not be opposed to someone doing some creative labeling where by some amazing, you know, act of faith. I don't know, act of some miracle that Lord Slushington J. Shuvelsworth III ends up on a Chicago snowplow. Make it happen.
Do you know I added something to the little library here? Where is it? Oh, it's not there anymore. I put in... Did you remove that?
Remove what?
I had put in background music of Chicago Corner.
Was there background? There's music?
There was. I don't know why it's not in our...
I don't see. Well, I see music.
You know where I think I put it? I think I put it in...
Oh, is it in my...
Maybe it's in that folder. Yeah, it is. Here we have a little little would be.
Ooh, that's nice. We'll have to put that on the other ones too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, although we'll have to knock off the background on this one, though. We don't need the forum stuff anymore.
No, we just need. I didn't realize that the music doesn't carry over to. I guess it does carry over because now we're still.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. So we can take us
Oh,
out.
if I switch to number 2, does it cut the music out? No, it doesn't.
No, it's still playing.
That's nice.
There we go.
Yes, Uncle Warren. It was a Taco Tuesday, and I did not post the Taco Tuesday logo until just now. But thank you for reminding me, so it's now official.
So
was.
Kath is giving me my marching orders for more work. I got to add sirens to the Burning City graphic.
Sirens, yes, and I need to hook up some sound effects too, because when Uncle Warren does his extra bullish show, I mean it's nice to have a little soundboard available.
Yeah,
to just
there's a lot more we can do. It's just carving out the time. So Kathy says, "Is this what you're talking? There's the storm of the centuries upon us tonight." You just said next week, or is it coming up tonight?
Is it this week? I know there was snow in the forecast.
Okay.
We got 90% chance of snow on Wednesday. So yeah, maybe we're gonna get hit with a little snow tomorrow. So that's going to be fun, slipping and sliding. Oh, but since it is Taco Tuesday, we really should have. So thank you once again for joining us here on Taco Tuesday on Chicago Corner. And Chuy the Stash says farewell. Hopefully he will say farewell and go back to Congress to get us more money for the state. And until then, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta switch back to the other one. Okay.
Citizen. Oh, you hit the wrong. Damn you.
That's not Chuy.
No, it's not. I clicked on it. You clicked, and it's like.
Oh, I flipped to the other one, and then you accidentally clicked on Willie. That's funny. All right. Okay.
I think when we do shows, we have to have one person doing the board.
Yeah. Well, what would be nice is if we could merge all of these things onto one thing, but I don't know.
That ain't gonna happen. I don't think that they're gonna.
Has somebody seen my keys? I might have left them next to one of my sets of documents. But I can't remember where or which documents I put them, because I leave those everywhere, man.
We're going off the rails, Ed.
I know. I can't do a Joe Biden voice. I don't know why. All right.
You know that there's also a volume control down there where we can.
Oh, is there a volume control? Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
For future reference.
Okay, Jerry. So, ladies and gentlemen, good night. Thanks for joining us. See you on Friday.
All right.
Get out. And don't come back until you've redeemed yourselves.
Hello, my name is Lori Lightfoot. While I'm running my city into the ground, I need maximum comfort. And that's why I wear slacks by Hagar.
Roomy roll-up slacks by Hagar. When you're comfortable in your complacency.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.